What's going on, y'all? What's up? What's up? It is your boy 1PTA. Another day with the Hall of Famers of America. The legends of America. That's what I call them. That's how I'm going to start these videos off. I ain't going to say another day, another nursing home. I'm going to say another day with the Hall of Famers, the legends of America, because I swear that's what they are. They are the American Hall of Famers. The baby boomers and the greatest generation. What's up? I hope y'all are good. Shout out to you if you're new here. I'm just a dude that's been working with the older population for the past 15 years. And I like to get in the car on my way home and talk about the lessons learned. Okay? That's what this channel is all about. So, I hope you're doing okay. I'm doing all right. A little tired, but I'm good. Had some heavy hitters today. When I say I had some heavy hitters today, that means I've had human beings that probably weigh north of 200 plus pounds that I have to do a lot of heave-hoeing to. Okay? Got to get them up. Got to use a lot of muscle to help them get up and get going. Today's video, yo, I'm going to get right into it. You see the title. I hope, and I don't want this video to be like, it shouldn't be controversial, but you know how people are. You got some people that think this, some people that think that. I disagree, I agree, I disagree. That's how this type of stuff goes. But I'm here for it. So if you got any questions or comments, please load them down in the comments. I would love to read your thoughts. But today's video is about marriage. It's about marriage. I have been working for the last 15 years with people who have been married for a long, long time. Not all. You know, I work with a lot of single people. I work with a lot of people who have never been married. I work with a lot of people who have been married 3, 4, the record that I've seen a person get married. The most times that I've seen a person get married and divorced is 5 times. Let me say that again. I met a lady who was married and remarried 5 times. 2 were, she became a widow. So 2 she lost, and then the other ones are just, it's 5 times. Okay? 5 times total. That's the record. Okay, so I work with a lot of widows, widowers. I work with a lot of people who have been divorced and remarried multiple times. Let's talk about some more records. The records, I keep track of these, man, because they stick out. I had a record of people being married, like for a while it was in the 60s. It was in the 60s, meaning 60 years married. I had a few 62-year marriages, a few 60-year marriages in the 60s. That was the trend for a while until COVID happened. I met a gentleman who was married to his wife for 72 years. 72 years. That's not the record though, but I want to talk about him because he was a cool guy. That was way back during COVID, when COVID first happened, and his story was sad. It was a little sad. All right, so this is about to get sad. Nice guy. He was in rehab. He had an issue. He had to get a little bit of rehab, and he had lost his wife not too long ago. His wife had caught COVID when COVID first started, and we still didn't really know what it was. You feel what I'm saying? We still didn't really know what it was. And he said his wife had went and got some food. Okay, she went and got some takeout, and they were sitting at the kitchen table eating takeout, and she got up and got a little woozy and had a fall and didn't hurt anything. He helped her get up, and she wasn't feeling good that night. She started having some cold symptoms. And she told him she didn't want to go get checked out. She'd be all right. Took a bunch of cold medicine and still wasn't feeling good. Days went past, kept taking cold medicine, still didn't feel any better. They didn't know what it was. None of us knew what it was. It was still new. It was still to the point where it hadn't really hit us that hard yet. So they're still figuring it out. Turns out she had COVID. And I'm talking to him, and when I met him, he was just really hard on himself, because he wishes that he would have taken her to the hospital. He kind of blames himself for not taking her to get checked out, even though she kept telling him that she didn't want to get checked out. So it's a little bit of a sad story, but him and his wife were married for 72 years. This is a man that told me, I don't know if any of y'all ever heard this saying about the Bible. He was a real religious man. He was a Christian. And he asked me, did I know what the Bible stand for? I said, actually, no. It's the Bible. I don't know what it stands for. He said the Bible, Bible, stands for basic instructions before life ends. Like, oh, I never heard anybody say that. It's probably a common thing that people, say, but he said that's what it stands for. Basic instructions before life ends. I never forget that. I never forget these kinds of conversations, man. Never forget them. Really cool guy. But he beat himself up because he said he could have done more for his wife, but we didn't know what COVID was, and she, sadly passed away. But 72 years. But that's not the record. I just recently met a guy, 75 years. Life expectancy is 73 years. We only out here living to be 73 in 2024. That's all we got. But I met a gentleman. I didn't meet her. I met a man who was married to his wife for 75 years. Good God. That is what I'm talking about. I even asked him, I said, you're at the point, because I don't know about y'all, if you're married, you tell me this. Are you at the point where you can look at your wife or look at your husband and you can tell what they're thinking? I have been married to my wife for 24 years. 24 years. We can tell how each other is feeling, how each other is thinking, without even speaking. Are you at that point with your boo, with your bae? Are you at that point? But he's like, yeah, oh yeah, we could tell what each other's thinking. And I always use the question, what's the secret? When I meet somebody who's been married that long, what's the secret? You know what the men always say? The men usually always say something along the lines of, well, she's the boss. Just do what she says. Always use that line. And you know what? I am not going to completely disagree with that. I am not going to completely disagree with that. My wife is the boss. What she says goes. She is the brains of the operation. So I listen to her. But, okay. So, my wholehearted thoughts about marriage later on in life. Let me just say it's very, very beneficial. What do I mean by that? Well, in the late stages of life, when you need some help, when you need some assistance, when, to be honest with you, quote unquote, the world, I'm not going to say doesn't need you anymore. I'm going to say older people typically feel like they're kind of in society, kind of I don't know how to put this. You know what I'm trying to say? Kind of cast away and, not really regarded, and, it's not about them anymore. People hardly stop to talk to them and give them the time of day. A lot of them think like that. That's not really the case, but a lot of them think like that. But when you're married at those late stages, that's when it counts. That's when all that matters is that person. Y'all are one. It matters. Y'all got the time for each other. Y'all got that companionship. Y'all got all those memories. And these are people who have been married for long periods of time, long periods. I can't tell you, man. I got so many stories. I remember a 96-year-old guy. He was about 6'5", and his wife was about all of 5'1". He was really, really tall. Both of them in their 90s. I think she was in early 90s, and he was in mid to late 90s. She had a fall in the house. Boom, this was years ago. She had a fall in the house, and did she fracture her neck? she might have, I don't know, might have had a neck fracture. Small neck fracture. She had to wear a neck collar. Like she had to wear one of those collars that just keep your head like that. She had to wear one of those collars for like a month or two. And her husband, he was at the nursing home every day. Every single day. He was at the nursing home, bringing her food, checking on her. She was amazing. She was really cool too. And she was a lady, I told her that I was going to write a book. I'm writing a book about my experience working with the elderly. In the future, I'm going to write a book. And she told me that she wanted to be in the book. And I told her, because of her unique story with her and her husband, man, I said she got to be in the book. I can't remember all the details about my conversation with her, but she is definitely going in the book. Really nice lady. Had a neck brace on. Her head was like this all day. She trying to eat. It was tough. But her husband used to be in there checking on her every day. And one day, he was like an old industrious type dude, like Mr. Fix-It, around the house doing all kinds of things. You know what he did? She has a walker, right? She has a walker and she likes to drink sodas, canned sodas. In the 90s, like to drink sodas. But on her walker, she had nowhere to put the sodas. They got like little baskets and they got like little pouches for the walkers, but she needed something to carry her sodas around in her walker. Her husband came in and he took a mug, an old coffee mug, that's one of those big mugs, a big coffee mug. He broke the handle off, boom, broke the handle off, and he came in with some duct tape. Like my man was like MacGyver. I don't know if y'all know MacGyver. Y'all remember MacGyver back in the day? Some of y'all might be a little too young to remember MacGyver. But anyway, he took duct tape and he took that mug and broke the handle off, boom. And he put the mug right on the corner of her walker, the inside corner, and he wrapped the duct tape around the walker and the mug, like just taped it, cup holder. What? This is how much he loved that lady, man. He loved her. He solved the problem. And now she can put her canned sodas in the big coffee mug, straight up cup holder. That's love, man. He was there every day, just showing love. Anything she needed. That was amazing. That's love. That's what it looks like when you're married that long, man. That's a snapshot of it. And to be honest with you, man, people who have married long times generally seem happier. Have I seen some couples who like to fuss and fight? Yes. But I'm talking about late stages, those late stages, when you get up 80s and 90s, all that fussing and fighting, you're done with that. You are typically, you're done with that. You don't got time for that. It's more about your health. It's more about companionship. That's what it's about. Y'all are helping each other. Y'all are helping each other navigate old age. You feel what I'm saying? Y'all are helping each other. Y'all are helping each other with doctor's appointments. She's keeping track of your medicine. You keeping track of her, making sure she don't fall. Like, that's where it's at in the late stages of a long-term marriage. I see it all the time. All the time. A lot of times one of the spouses will be doing a lot for the other ones. Those are the situations that I don't like to see, when one just takes it for granted. I don't like to see that. I like to see, helping each other out. But a lot of times, unfortunately, I see where one is just taking the other for granted. You feel what I'm saying? This is why I made the video a few videos back about letting your spouse gain too much weight. I got some controversial comments about that video, but for the most part, a lot of times I'll see that spouse taking advantage of the other spouse. You feel what I'm saying? I don't like to see those situations, but for the most part, the long-term relationships, man, you're helping each other out. You are past that argument phase. You are past that petty stuff. You are past the nonsense. You might have went through that back in the day, but at this point, late stages, nope. Y'all ain't got time for that. Y'all are more focused on each other. Y'all focused on your health, and that's where you're thriving. You're thriving together. You feel what I'm saying? So, marriage in the late stages of life, very, very beneficial for both parties. Very beneficial. I see more happiness. And there's even studies, you can look up the studies. There's studies that show that if you sleep next to the person that you love, on average, you tend to live very, very long. And when I talk about the 90-year-olds, I don't meet many who aren't married. I don't meet many who weren't married. I meet a lot of widows, okay? People who were married for long periods of time in their late 90s. But I don't meet many who were not married. So I think there's something to that whole, being married helps you live longer. Oof. I think there's something to that, to be honest with you. So, not to sum up, because I'm not done. Not to sum up, but for the most part, marriage is very, very beneficial for both parties. It just is. That's what I've seen in 15 years. So if you are married, shout out to you. Keep going, keep pushing. It is a marathon. Keep going. Keep looking out for each other. Keep that love strong. If you are married. If you are not married, am I saying it's like, and I went through this with the having no kids video. Is it doom and gloom? No, it's not doom and gloom. Not doom and gloom. No, not saying that. I meet a lot of people who aren't married. I meet a lot of people who don't want to be married. Not saying that. I'm just saying if you aren't married and you're not open to being married at some point, try to be open to it. Try to be open to it, because when you get in the late stages of life, companionship is very important. It is very important. You feel what I'm saying? When you get to the late stages of life, that's what I have seen in my 15 years of dealing with the older generation. I hear so many stories from widows about what they did with their spouses. They love to talk about what they used to do with their spouses, their husbands and wives, the memories they had. That is very, very important to them. Always see the pictures on the walls of their spouses. Always. If they widowed. So, if you're not married, please do not be not open to it. Feel what I'm saying? Be open to it. And I have seen people getting married. I just had a lady not too long ago. She's 83 years old. She just met her husband online about 6 months ago. Been married for all of 6 months at 83. Met him online. I was cracking up. She's telling me the story of how they met, and she just is cracking up with me. I was like, really? What you doing online dating? She was like, it happened, and we got married. Oh, man. I got a crazy story for you. I'm not crazy, but very, very interesting. I had a patient, a Parkinson's patient, years ago, maybe about 10 years ago. Him and his wife, when he was young, he was running and ripping, and he was, he was unfaithful. So him and his wife got divorced, okay? Maybe in their 40s, all right? Got divorced. They both remarried, both of them. He remarried and she remarried. Fast forward, maybe late 70s, both spouses, now the two that were married and got divorced, both of their spouses that they married passed away. So they both became widows. Now mind you, they got divorced, remarried, and their spouses both passed away after some time. So they're now both widows in their late 70s. You know what they did? You want to know what they did? He's telling me the story. He was like, we called each other up. We started talking. We said, you know what? We're both widows. We need some companionship. Both of their health was declining. They got married again. After, the divorce and after the cheating, got up in age, and I'm guessing for companionship reasons, they remarried. And it was a good marriage. I know this because I used to go to his house. I used to do home health. I used to go to his house and I used to treat him, and they would be just having a good old time. And she would always, when I would work with him, she would leave out. So she would go run errands. She would go to the grocery store, and she had some friends she used to play cards with. She would always, oh, y'all boys, because we used to always just, we used to have a good time together. Little man talk. And she used to say, oh, y'all boys gonna have y'all fun. I'll be back. And now they would just have a good old time. I would go in there, they'd just be having a good old time. But when I would come in, she would leave out. And then he would just talk about how wonderful she is and how, how much she does for him at this point. Because like I said, he had Parkinson's. I don't know if you know about Parkinson's, but it is a progressive disease. So he needed a lot of help. But yeah, stories like that happen. So if you are against marriage, never getting married, not doing it, I would say don't close that door. Do not close that door, because you never know. You never know. And if you aren't married and you're getting older, please don't think that window is closed. That window is not closed. I told you, I just met an 83-year-old woman just got married. I got an aunt just got married at 75. Just got married at 75. And I told you the person I met who's married 5 times. So it could happen, and it could happen again, Don't close that door, all right? Because like I said, later on in life, the married couples always seem the happiest. That companionship is there. And I'm not saying just get married for that. I'm not saying just get married because later on in life I'm going to need to be married. That's not what I'm saying here. Some people might take it that way. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying on average, the married couples who I see later on in life are generally the more happy people. And they're also the people with the most longevity. Also the people with, I'm not going to say better health. But I'm going to say the people with the most longevity. You feel what I'm saying? So, in conclusion, marriage. At the late stages of life, what I have found in my private individual research and working with the older generation, I have found marriage to be something that's very, very beneficial. All right? Whew. So anyway, man, hope y'all doing good out there. Shout out to you, man. Like I said, if you're new here, I'm just a dude that hops in the car after work and I talk about the lessons I learned from the legends of America, the Hall of Famers of America. And I call them the Hall of Famers and I call them the legends. I might do a whole video on that. They are the ones that probably saw America at its finest. They probably saw America at its finest time, and they contributed to that. You feel what I'm saying? They contributed to America's finest times and the work they did and the things they did in their communities. So, in conclusion, marriage is something that's very beneficial in the late stages of life. And like I told you, I am a married man, 24 years, so I might be a little biased on it. But what I'm saying is very, very, it's unbiased. It is unbiased. And like I said, man, the nonsense, if you're going through something with your boo, if you're going through something in your relationship, if it's a little rocky, trust me, these people that have been married for 75 years, 72 years, 62 years, 65 years, you think they didn't go through rocky? Do you feel what I'm saying? You think they didn't experience some rocky times? Oh, come on. Come on. You're not being realistic if you think that. If you think it was just all roses, all rainbows and sunshine, But there's something to be said about the couple that can be married for 75 years. But all those times weren't rainbows and sunshine. So they've been through the rocky. So the stuff that you're going through, I said in another video, nothing we doing is new. Nothing. Nothing that we're going through. We go through in our relationships, the stuff we be beefing about, arguing about, the petty stuff. Nothing we doing is new. There's people that have been through everything you're going through. Okay? But in conclusion, marriage is very, very beneficial. And not to mention, if you're in America, if you're watching this from America, understanding the system you're in. the tax system from a financial standpoint. America was designed for you to benefit if you are married financially, if that makes sense. Our tax code and our system was designed to benefit entrepreneurs, investors, and married couples. If you don't believe that, please look it up. Always more beneficial financially if you are married. For one, like, for the most part, you got 2 household income. Because, back in the day, a lot of times you had one income. Now, for the most part, you probably got 2 household incomes if you're married. It's very beneficial. So it's so many different aspects on why it's beneficial, why being married is beneficial. I hope I covered most of them in this video. And I gotta apologize, these videos are not scripted. I don't like have a script. A lot of this stuff comes off the top of my head. A lot of this stuff comes off the top of my head while I'm walking to the car. Because I know I'm gonna talk about something that I learned. So a lot of this stuff, I'm walking to the car, let's talk about marriage today. I just met a couple married for 75 years. Let's talk about the benefits of being married for long periods of time. So I say all that to say, thank you for coming through. Make sure you like and subscribe. Feel free to comment on your views on this. Okay, you might have a different view. I would sure like to know it. So y'all be cool. I'm almost at the crib. I will holler at y'all. Make sure y'all respect your elders. Respect the legends. Okay? Respect the Hall of Famers. And I will holler at y'all in the next video.